ماري لازم هتقول لنا قصه برضه، مش عشان هي سي او، مش عشان هي رئيس التنفيذ، عشان هي كل السنين دي في الاولمبياد الخاص لازم عندها قصه واثنين وثلاثه، وعايزين نسمع احلى قصه يا ماري.
Well, thank you so much, Ivan. And it's hard to choose a story when you have been involved in Special Olympics as long as I have. There's so many stories throughout my life that I've seen, and you know, I'll tell one quick one in a moment, but before I do, I think the stories that I will tell over and over again and that really make this movement was what I experienced yesterday and today by walking in yesterday to the room full of families. You know, not a big sized room, but it was packed with family members, eager, enthusiastic, willing, wanting the knowledge, wanting to know how they can find opportunities and training for their young children. And that, to me, is just a great, great story to tell, and that we can provide that support and that they can trust us in that way. I feel that's something that wasn't there perhaps when I started out my career as a teacher and a coach, and there it is now in, you know, countries all over the world. It's really special. And then today I was thinking, as we travelled on the bus back from that sports academy, of the family members that had come with their son or daughter to be checked for their eyes, for their ears, for their feet, their nutrition training. And you know, they'll go away finding things, you know, finding that their child's eyesight needed to be corrected and that there was somebody there to look after them and to correct it with them. And there are stories that sometimes we take for granted, but to me they are the most powerful stories in our movement, because they show how far we've come in the short 50 years that Special Olympics has been in existence. So these are two stories that I will tell over and over again. But for myself, very early on in my career as a teacher, I met one girl very like Dina, reminds me very much of Dina, and practically followed a similar track as Dina, except she never got to work for the president. So that's the difference. But her name was Rita Lawler. She was the first global messenger, and I coached her for years, and she's a great friend of mine. Even today, she comes to my house for home for dinner. She knows all my family, she meets them, she asks about them. But she was in an institution when I met her, and she had no job, and she showed a love for gymnastics, and we started to train her in gymnastics, and she went on to, through her gymnastics, she won the overall medal, which was a big deal in South Bend in Indiana. I think that was 1989. And for me, it was a proud, proud moment. And after that, she left the institution and she began to live in an independent way in the community. She now lives in an apartment. She has just retired from a job she had in a hotel, and she has written her own book called Moving On. And that's why I say she's like Dina, because Dina was a global messenger. Dina is writing her own book, but she never made it to work for the president. But it's a story that's very close to my heart because Rita is still a great friend. Thank you.
طبعا يعني سريعا اللي هي قالته هي عاجبها قصتين حصلوا هنا في الزيارة الأخيرة دي اللي هي موجودة في مصر فيها. قصة إنها شافت العائلات المكدسة في أوضة ومهتمة جدا إنها تحضر الورشة الإقليمية للعائلات، وإزاي الناس حريصة وعندها ثقة فينا كأولمبياد خاص إن إحنا هنمدهم بمعلومات تفيدهم وتفيد أولادهم. القصة الثانية بتاعت البرنامج الصحي النهارده، وإزاي الولد اللي عنده مشكلة في النظر بياخد نظارة وهو واقف وبيروح بيها سعيد إنه شايف وعلى أعلى مستوى. فدي القصص اللي هي بتقول إن أنا بحكيها كل يوم وبؤكدها كل يوم، وهحكيها بعد ما أمشي من هنا أنا شفت إيه في مصر. إنما برضه هي بتقول قصة شخصية إن عندها كانت مدربة، هي البنت زي دينا بالظبط. كانت هذه البنت موضوعة في مركز إيواء، وبالتالي كانت منعزلة عن العالم كله، وتحولت بالأولمبياد الخاص والتدريب وبدخول المجتمع، بقت فرد كأنها فرد من أفراد أسرتها، بتروح تزورها في البيت، واخدة عليهم كلهم، ابتدت تشتغل، نجحت في عملها جدا، وبعدين دلوقتي خلاص بطلت شغل وكتبت كتاب عن قصة حياتها وطبعته. فيعني بتقول النهارده دي مثال كبير للي ممكن يحصل من الأولمبياد.